I'm not saying that. But if you want to talk about name calling and manner, they have called him a Nazi, a fascist, a dictator from day one. They gave him no cooperation. Okay, and frankly, I think the assassination attempt where he almost took a bullet, to the ear, where he almost was killed. I really think they contributed. The Democrats really created an atmosphere of hatred, and I think they really encouraged stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely reprehensible the way they treated Donald Trump. And you know what? You want to put all the focus on Trump, but Harris is the biggest liar I've ever seen, and she's on videotape saying she would ban fracking. She would defund the cops, and now she's lying.
Yes,
right
I'll
to the
say that
American
Harris
people.
has changed her positions when
lied.
it came to certain.
She has lied.
She's changed her position.
No.
But what I will say is Trump has also been calling people thugs and using terminology about race of the country, which does have biased insinuations in it, and people do view that these words, the rhetoric, as racist. And I mean, Sarah, what are your thoughts? I hear a lot of Republicans saying, well, I don't agree with what he says, but I support his policies, so therefore it doesn't matter what he says because I'm in line with his policies. Do you think that that's a way?
I think that's a cop-out. I mean, first of all, I don't even think Donald Trump really has policies. I think he has a desire to have power, and I think he has a desire, his Project 2025, if anybody has the energy or patience to even care to read that, his cozying up with the Heritage Foundation, his J.D. Vance, it's all to be found, to be identified by people if they're interested in looking at it. And what I think you will learn when you take a deep dive into these documents, into these artifacts that Trump and his advisors, that he would bring with him, right? Because presidents don't work on their own. They work with advisors, and they work with people who are interested in certain outcomes, whether those are political or whether they're policy, or whether they're environmental, whether they're cultural. They have certain ideas that they want to see happen. And those ideas are, when a candidate endorses those ideas, he owns them. And so I don't care if your framework is, you can say whatever you want, that, Project 2025 is not Donald Trump, that's bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't, that's not how
this is absolute
government
nonsense.
works.
So, I mean, do you agree, you claim Harris has made certain false statements, and we'll say every politician makes false statements.
No, I'm going further. I'm saying she lied.
Okay.
She said she never said that she would ban fracking.
And you don't think Trump has lied in his periods? I mean, he's been caught on record lying about so many things.
Well, he's been convicted of fraud.
What I have said is very
which is
clear.
lying.
You're
Fraud
focusing
is lying.
only on Donald Trump.
I'm focusing on no.
No, you're giving a free pass to Harris, just like the media is.
I am not
she's
giving...
reprehensible. She ought to be ashamed of herself. By the way, the Project 2025, nothing to do with Donald Trump. Okay, this is a talking point that the Democrats decided to use. Listen, you have these left-wing...
Have you read Project 2025?
I've seen some of it. Some of it is deplorable, and Donald Trump says so.
You know who endorses it? Heritage Foundation. You know who wrote it?
It's not Donald Trump.
Well,
it's not Donald Trump, and so if you want to
the head of the Heritage Foundation, J.D. Vance wrote a foreword for his new book that's coming out.
Well,
they have really strong ties, really strong relationships. These are people that are in bed together. They are interested in the same things. Donald Trump is interested in becoming an autocrat. This is what he wants.
This is absolute nonsense.
This is what he wants.
I could look at these left-wing think tanks, and I could tie it to you very much. You want to defund the police. You want to have an open border. You want to have all these people come in, and you're doing it just so you can get votes. These people are going to be on welfare. They're going to be on food stamps, and they're going to be Democrats. You know what? You might gain power with this. You might become a one-party state run by the Democrat Party. But think of the country you're going to have. It's going to be bankrupt. It's going to be lawless. I'm shocked. I mean, as an attorney, as an officer of the court, how you can just look the other way when Biden and Harris basically opened up the border. Not only did they open up the border, but they fought every attempt by the border states to stop illegal immigration. They don't even call it illegal. They're undocumented. This is nonsense. I
mean, I'm a middle of the road person. I think both parties have policies that I can agree with and and disagree with various issues. You know, I'm someone who's pro-abortion. I'm someone who's pro, legal immigration. I'm someone who supports those things. But I also cannot accept that someone makes these statements and we want to put him as a leader. Because as an organizational psychologist who makes recommendations to businesses, I would never take someone who says the rhetoric he says and say that he should govern a company when he, in terms of,
And she has the right to call.
I'm not saying that.
Compare people to the Ku Klux Klan?
Yes, I'm not saying that
Really?
there has not been extreme things, but I think some of his rhetoric goes a little bit far.
Agreed, and so does hers.
I think that Republicans really need to look at the fact of saying we support his policies, but we're willing to ignore this, because this cannot be ignored either. This is just as important as policies are.
One thing I get when I ask people, like, why do you vote for Trump or support Trump, doesn't his mouth kind of concern you and the things he says? Some Republicans will say to me, yeah, I don't agree with the fact that he says so much crap, but I support his policies.
Every once in a while, I do cringe on some of the things he says, but under Donald Trump, we had a great economy and we weren't at war. I'm a Ron DeSantis supporter, but now I support Donald Trump.
And
yeah, but the problem is that the people who are supporting Donald Trump in government right now are worse than he is. I mean, like some of I mean, you can't even. It's almost laughable, right? You can see why these people are perfectly fine with what Donald Trump says and does, because they do the exact same thing, and they probably do it in their private life. They probably have these comments and thoughts that they just they keep it on the inside when they're in public, and then when they're in their among their crowd, they sort of let it rain. And I'm sorry, but I don't like those people in government. They don't have a place in a government that is for everyone, right? I am not here endorsing the farthest reaches of my party who talk about defund the police and who call everybody a racist. I'm not here to defend those people.
Which is Kamala Harris. So
well,
you can't. How can you support Kamala Harris? Okay, when she's in she's in step with the squad, the anti-Semitic statements that have come out of the Democratic left, and she refuses to condemn them. Biden refuses to do anything about it. But we only hear about the things that happen on the right. We attack the right when they say something. But when she compares,
but there is this extreme on
this is not about both sides.
I agree. But we don't hear that. We don't hear that because they control the media. And when she compares ICE agents and law enforcement people to the Ku Klux Klan, she gets a free pass. I haven't heard any condemnation of that.
I'm glad we can have a discussion. Because I think as we want to move forward as Americans, we need to learn how to work together across the aisle. Thank you for watching the clip. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also stay tuned for more In the Cann with Carmella Cann.